Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, June 19th. How are you? How was your weekend? It was Father's Day weekend, right? I hope everybody had a great Father's Day. We did. We had a really nice day. Come here. Look who's with me. Newton, and you know it was his birthday on Friday. He was 6 years old, and he has his bunny today. He's ready. He's ready for Van Gogh Monday. Are you guys ready? Yes. Jacob's here. How are you, Jacob? Good morning. And John Atkins is here. And Raymond is here. Raymond, this is your first time joining our broadcast. Yes, it's the birthday bunny, Jacob. That's right. Well, I just want to send out a resounding welcome to you, Raymond. I'm delighted that you're here. And I was kind of wondering when you were going to get here. And my mother is here. Jacob, my mother's here, and she has I put a new picture on her Facebook page. It's of my son. So it's so nice to see you all here. It really is. Welcome, Raymond, everybody. Raymond Peterson, great guy. So, as you know, and Stephen, welcome. And Mom. Grandma's here. Yes. Welcome. Okay, so it's Van Gogh Monday, and I have to tell you, first I want to hear if everybody had a great weekend, Father's Day, all of that. Yeah, Queen Phyllis, Emeritus Phyllis, I love that, Jacob. Jamie, thank you for joining us. Good morning. So, Van Gogh Mondays, Van Gogh is, oh my God, the more I know about him and his work, the more complicated. It's an enigma. I mean, I never really feel that I have such a handle on his work, but I do at the same time. So it's really kind of this dichotomy. So what I chose for today, because I'm always interested in choosing things that kind of push the envelope a little bit and show you things that you may not have seen before. And when I do show you things that you have seen before, we'll talk about them in a different way. So my mother says, "Good morning, my beautiful angel." She says I look absolutely gorgeous, because that's what mothers say. Thank you. Hi, Eric. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so this is Smart Start. Raymond, it's Smart Start, and it's a way of starting your day by looking at a piece of art, filling your mind with something great. During the day, I hope you think about the piece of art, and I hope you continue to write on the feed. All right, so here we go. Marcy Reynolds just joined. Marcy Reynolds is a friend from when Marcy knew me at 19. What a great person. I love her and miss her. Okay, so this is, and I'll get back to Marcy. This is Van Gogh, a roadway with underpass. Oil on cardboard, mounted on panel. You can read. Tiny, 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 12 by 17, 1887. So let me get us a two-shot here. And, oh, thank you, Jacob. That's true. That's true. The reason I'm anything is because of my mother. That's absolutely true. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And I want to hear comments. Raymond, I want to hear comments from you, from everybody. All right, so what I find, this is at the Guggenheim in New York City, and so I'm looking at a scholarship work done by Jennifer Blessing. So thank you, Jennifer. Francisco, good morning. Meryl Green, good morning. So this is the scholarship work of Jennifer Blessing, a curator at the Guggenheim. And so what she says, while living in Paris, Van Gogh made frequent excursions to the suburb to escape the urban environment and paint in nature before his subject, a method he often advocated to other artists. On these trips, he would usually stay at the family home of Bernard, a young painter he advised. In a letter to Bernard from Arles, Van Gogh reiterated his position on the importance of painting from experience rather than from the imagination. And he says, "I'm getting well acquainted with nature. I exaggerate sometimes. I make changes in a motif. But for all that, I do not invent the whole picture. On the contrary, I find it already in nature, only it must be disentangled." And I really, really liked that notion that he's disentangling what's already there in nature. So what that tells me, and I want to hear what that tells you, okay? So please write in. I am not, by no means, the authority here. These are just my personal opinions and connections that I make in art. But what I take disentangle to mean is that he's disentangling not only what is in nature, but what's in his mind, his imagination. And it's the feeling that he gets from nature. So we see all the time in Van Gogh's work, nature heightened to an incredible level. Serena Busky, good morning, my love. You guys know how I feel about Serena. Mwah. Okay, Serena, we're looking at Van Gogh. Please weigh in. Okay, so I take that to mean that he really, as I said, he has this heightened sense of nature, and he finds so much in nature. So it's a combination of what he finds and also in his imagination. I want to go on to read a little bit more. On a late summer day in 1887, the artist set out to record one of the many now extinct underpasses and toll house structures that ringed Paris and regulated entry into the city. For roadway with underpass, Van Gogh chose the vantage point of a traveler en route, which is suggested by a dim glow at the end of the tunnel. The low figure clad in black walking into the darkness midway in the tunnel lends a vague air of foreboding. Now, I want to go to a full shot here because I'm not sure. I'm going to go to a detail. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that, but in the sense that the figure in the center is foreboding. But what I do love that Van Gogh did here, or I love what he did everywhere in the entire picture, but look at the light at the end of the tunnel. Look at that, just that little glimpse of light. And you know, we all know that terminology, light at the end of the tunnel and such, but look at just that little glimpse of light at the end of the tunnel and just how it brings you to the end. Just, it brings us into that tunnel. It brings us just, it allows us to go to the end. Yes, I agree that obviously there's a figure there, but I'm not sure it's foreboding. I feel like I'm kind of traveling along with that figure, assuming that that's, you know, the way present day person dressed, a woman, man. I don't feel like it's foreboding or that it feels, when I say present day, I meant Van Gogh's present day. It feels scary to me. I feel like the light is emanating to bring that person out to the other side of the tunnel. What I love about this is that Van Gogh painted this scene at the beginning of his mature period, where he was exploring the technical achievements of the various stylistic idioms current in Paris. The contrasting creamy ochre, impasto, and chalky blue shadows on the crumbling underpass and the road suggest the heightened palette and divided brushstrokes of the Impressionists. That I agree with. Moreover, the contrasting complementary colors he employs in the energetic dots and loose dashes that imply the movement of the foliage animated in the breeze. I want to pull up a detail for you as we do that. Look at his foliage on the animated by the breeze on the embankment attest to his hesitant investigation of divisionist color theory. Let's talk about divisionist color theory for a second. Good morning, Josephine, my gorgeous sister-in-law. So nice of you to be here. So let me go to two-shot again. So I'm going to read this to you because it's easier. Divisionism was a characteristic style in the Neo-Impressionist painting defined by the separation of colors into individual dots or patches which interacted optically. Oh, good, Serena. Thank you for weighing in. Serena says, possibly metaphorical in that we all experience this in some way or another. The light is the law of the universe, that we will come through one way or another. Yeah, I think that is so true, so true. And Jacob says, to me, this painting is a message from Van Gogh that there is beauty on the other side. also even from the structure that doesn't necessarily look like it belongs in nature. That's so great, Jacob. So great. Josephine, I'm so happy to have you here. We were talking about you this weekend and how much we love you and Bernie. Okay. By requiring the viewer to combine the colors optically, and Serena, you may want to weigh in on this because you're a major colorist, so let me read that again. By requiring the viewer to combine the colors optically instead of physically mixing pigment, divisionists believed they were achieving the maximum luminosity scientifically possible. Seurat founded the style around 1884, drawing from his understanding of the scientific theories of several different artists. Divisionism developed along with another style, pointillism. We'll look at that next week, actually, which is defined specifically by the use of dots of paint and does not necessarily focus on the separation of colors. So now I want to show you another piece that Van Gogh did just a little later than this. Okay, and this is the railway bridge over Avenue Montmajour. So the roadway that we just saw, the tunnel that we just saw, the roadway with underpass foreshadows this painting, the railway bridge. And like the present painting, these two works present a view through a tunnel from the perspective of a spectator situated diagonally to the right of the bridge. So let's go to a two-shot of that. I want to look at that. So we talked about the divisionist color, but I also want to look at the perspective here. And Serena, yes, it is. It's so luminescent, Serena. You're right. It's glazing. And, you know, in Serena Busqui's work, which I'm going to start adding the contemporary artists into these feeds now. But it's hard to add anybody to Van Gogh. It's almost too intimidating for the artists themselves as well. There's this sense of, Serena works in encaustic, so there's this incredible sense of luminosity to her work, so she really understands it. But let's look at this juxtaposition here. I'm very taken by the perspective. It's on an angle, it's on a diagonal. We don't see it from straight through the tunnel, right? He pushes us off to the side a little bit and chooses to look at from an angle. And I wonder what we make of that. I don't know. I find it just so fascinating. The more complex later canvases also included a counter-thrusting pathway leading to the left. Yes, this pathway up the hill. As you can see there, it kind of leads up, so it becomes more complicated. I'd like you to look at the bridge. When you look at this bridge, look at the underside of the bridge. When you see a close-up of it, let me go to, I'm not sure you could see it in here any better. I don't think so. But there is, those brush strokes have such energy to them, just an incredible amount of energy. So for today, I was thinking about, let's go to my two-shot. So I was thinking about starting the week, and we start with Van Gogh, as you all know. And so I was really thinking about the tunnel, the metaphorical idea of tunnel. Where did Newton go? Oh, he's lying down. He fell asleep. I was thinking about the metaphorical idea of tunnel that both Serena and Jacob spoke to. And as we begin the week and we think about what the week, how it will unfold, how our lives will unfold this week, and we are hoping the best, that light through the tunnel, and maybe it is a little bit ominous, like Jennifer Blessing suggested from the Guggenheim, that this figure in the middle, you know, midweek, how are we going to deal with everything? And the way I deal is to go back to a piece of art, take a moment and look at it, and especially this beautiful little painting that's at the Guggenheim in New York. And it just, we had such great words, luminescent, it's glazing, there's this movement in the colors, in the trees, in the foliage, this kind of, as we talked about, divisionist color. And I just think it's so beautiful. And I really wish you all an amazing week. Now, this week is a little tricky for me. I have to go to Boston. You know, our son has graduated high school, and he will be at Boston University starting in September, and we have orientation. So on tomorrow, I have to go up to Westchester, and I'll see my mother. And then Wednesday, we leave for Boston. So I'm in a tricky situation. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning to you. I love what you posted on Instagram this morning. The succulents, gorgeous. So Wednesday, we'll be en route to Boston at 8:30. And Thursday, I'll be in some kind of orientation, so I'm not going to be able to do this program as we've been doing every day of the weeks. But what I'm going to do is I will still go live. I'm going to try to go live from the Boston Museum of Art, but I'll still go live on Facebook and show areas of Boston or try to make connections and such. I'll still try to do Women Crush Wednesday and stuff. But I will be back, I promise you. If you won't see this exact show the rest of this week, but you will see me at some point on during the day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as my family, as we transition from having a high school student to now having a young gentleman in college. So it's an exciting time for us. And I want to bring you all along for that. And there's such great things I want to show you all in Boston, and we can all make connections and stuff. So I want everybody to have a wonderful day. I want you to think about this fantastic piece of work by Van Gogh. And please continue to comment. And I just look forward. I love hearing all of your comments. I love all the connections that are made. Newton fell asleep, so he's not going to say goodbye. It's either that I'm droning or he's exhausted from the morning play. All right, goodbye, everyone. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye.